This is the Makita UC3041A electric chainsaw. Now, the 3O means it's a 30cm bar. They do different sizes of this machine, electric chainsaws, but I could not get hold of the 30cm version in the UK, apart from this particular machine, which I managed to get from Amazon UK, which is the European version. In other words, it needs a European extension cable in order to use it. So I'll go through that later on in the video. This is the packaging. Inside the box we've got the chainsaw, a 12-inch Makita guide bar, the guide bar cover, a set of instructions and a chain. So you'll notice that this has got a European 2-pin plug with a very short cable. That is because it's designed to be used with an extension lead, and I'll show you that in a second. It's a 240 volt machine, but you do need to buy an extension cable for it. To install the blade, you've got to remove this cover here. Just flick this lever back and turn it anti-clockwise. That just pops off. There's a little black plastic pin there, and this is the blade tensioning dial. So if I actually turn this, you will notice that that black pin is very slowly moving. So that black pin fits in this hole in the bottom of the guide bar. Now you can see that there is a screw thread there and a pin. They go inside this slot, and the little black pin needs to go through the bottom hole there. I mean, you can put the bar either way, it makes no difference. Of course, if you put it this way, then the Makita bit's upside down. So just press your finger on the guide bar and rotate the tensioning dial until it's fully retracted. I don't know whether you can see that, but it is moving towards this. Now that is as far back as it can go. So take the guide bar and the chain, just drop the chain into the groove that runs along the outside of the guide bar, like so. So this is the top of the guide bar, and you can see which way the chain is orientated. The pointy bit on the teeth is pointing towards the tip of the guide bar on the top. So make sure that the teeth points are pointing away from the chainsaw on the top of the guide bar. And if you're not sure, you can see this little diagram here which shows you which way the chain goes as well. Drop the guide bar down, position it over the 2 pins and the threaded bar, and then slide it over the sprocket there. And now what we've got to do is tension the blade. So I turn this the other way now, which is going towards the positive, and you'll notice as I'm doing that the bar is going to tighten because this pin is pushing it that way. Take the cover, get it started on the thread there, and then adjust the tension until you've got it right where you want it, which is about there, and then you can screw this all the way down to secure everything. And that is the assembly completed. It's very simple, and of course it's easy to tension the chain. If you want to slacken the chain off, say if I want to slacken this off now, I can just undo that, and you can see that the tension's coming off that now. And then if I put it the other way, I can just twist the tension dial the other way to tension the blade. And then once you've tensioned the blade or fitted the blade, you need to tighten this down like so. So it's very simple. The guide bar cover just slides over there, and that just means that you can't touch the blade, and it's a little bit of protection. And that's the assembly completed. So let's look at connecting this to the UK mains. Now you can see we've got the European 2-pin plug there, as I showed you earlier. You've got about 3 choices. The first one is to buy one of these, which is a socket that goes onto the end of a cable, and you can make an extension lead by finding a cable that you've got in your house. It's got to be big enough to take the current. This is 1400 watts. This is a 16 amp socket, and I got this off Amazon for just over £3. I'll put a link in the description below the video for this, but it was quite difficult to work out how it fits. I'll show you that in a second. The other choice is to buy an extension cable that's got a Schuko connection at each end, a male and female. You can buy a 10 metre one of those for around about £10. There are more expensive ones than that. So if you buy a Schuko female and male extension lead, you'll have to cut the other end off and fit a UK 3-pin plug to that. You can actually buy ones that have got the Schuko 2-pin socket on the end that go to a UK 3-pin plug. So you've got 3 choices there, and I am actually going to go down this route because it's the cheapest route, which is to buy a socket or adapter and then to wire in one of my own cables. And this is about 8 meters long. It's off an old vacuum, so there's enough capacity on the cable. Now, I'm not going to show you how to wire it. You'll have to do that yourself and work out how to do that. If you buy one of these, you've got to take out this screw like so. Take this end off. The cable goes through the back there, and if you open that up, fit the chainsaw cable in and then pull, it literally pulls out the insides of the connector so that you can wire it. Now, it took me about 10 minutes to work out how to do that because there were no instructions with it. So then you've got to put the clamp over the cable, thread the cable through the back of the casing all the way through like so. That's where you wire it. There are 2 connections, one on either side for live and neutral, and the center one is for earth. And then put it all back together again. So this is wired now. If you look at the casing, you'll see there's a slot at the bottom and a slot at the top. And then if you look at the actual fitting, there is a long piece of plastic on one side. So that goes on the left hand side with the red lid on the top and pushes in. If you try it the other way around and put it on the right hand side, it won't go in. Push it all the way home. So this is a locking screw. It goes in this hole here. Just tighten that up with your screwdriver. And then slide the red end cap along. If you look in the back there, you can see there's a rubber seal that will grip the cable. Just screw that into the end, make sure it's tight, and then that seals the cable inside the casing. So now I've got an extension lead for the chainsaw, and it only cost me £3.06 because I already had the cable with the plug on the end. The chainsaw comes equipped with a clip that allows you to secure the cable. That just means that you can't pull the cable out of the connection. So I think that's quite a handy little feature as well. So that's the assembly. So I've filled the oil compartment with chain oil. I bought that from Amazon as well, and I'll put a link in the description below the video. But basically now we're ready to start cutting with this saw. So there we go, that's it assembled now. Not too difficult, and obviously I've demonstrated how to get yourself an extension cable for this machine. Now remember, I said at the beginning, I do not think you'll be able to get hold of one of these with a 12-inch bar anywhere in the UK, so you will need to sort out an extension cable if you decide to go down this route. Now the reason I've chose an electric chainsaw is because I want to use it in here in the workshop, and I don't want to use any of my petrol chainsaws for that. So I've gone for electric, and I wanted a 12-inch bar because I think I'm going to try some wood carving with it, and we'll see what happens. But I hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching.